Have you sat on your couch and just contemplated, like, ask yourself, why am I here? What's my purpose in life? What do I have that I can contribute to make the world better or give my life some meaning and something to be proud of? Today, we're going to be talking about what is your purpose. We're going to dive deep into it today, right here on the Bub Podcast. So let's get to it.
Welcome to the Bump Podcast. I'm your host, Shamir, here with my co-host and beloved brother, Nabil.
How's everybody feeling today? You feeling good? I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling great. Feeling wonderful.
We got a little tan going on. Not sure if you guys could tell.
Yeah.
Oh, we're at an air show over the weekend and got quite the nice sun. Just hitting right down on our faces.
It was
good times.
It was a good show, honestly.
It was a really good show.
We saw a lot of different planes, like the Blue Angels from the Navy, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And
something like that.
The F-22s, impressive. I told him, but this looks like
that's from the Air Force.
Yeah.
You know, it has nothing to do with the show, obviously, but there's the F-22, but then there's also the F-35.
F-35?
Yeah, there's an F-35, and it goes even faster. Wow. The F-22, fun fact, guys, it goes 1,500 miles per hour. That's crazy. Wow. And we just saw it going super slow, and this because of its speed, the sound is kind of like behind when you see the craft passing by you first, and then that's when you hear the sound, and you're like, what the heck?
It was wonderful.
It reaches supersonic. If you guys aren't really sure what that is, like, watch Iron Man 1, and the first time he's trying to escape some F-22s, he goes supersonic to the point where, like, even the F-22s can't keep up.
Nice.
It's freaking dope.
Must be fast, huh? So it was just wonderful. It felt like an aircraft from like X-Men, like when they arrived.
It did look like their X-Jet, whatever they call it in the movie. And
then like how fast it was going, like the sound of it, like when it first came out, was just so impressive. Like, dude, it scared the hell out of me. I ain't gonna lie. I literally
it was just really loud. Yeah, we didn't expect that. I've never seen one. We've never seen one in person like that.
Least, so. Yeah. Definitely in videos and stuff. But anyways,
on topic.
Yes,
what's today's topic?
We're going to be talking about purpose, our internal purpose. Like, what's our purpose of life? Nabil, do you have the meaning of purpose?
Well, as usual, definitions are important to know, right? So the meaning of purpose is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. The purpose of the meeting is to appoint a trustee. It's kind of like a separate thing, but the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So us, essentially, we all have a purpose in life.
Heck yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that we're all obviously on this earth for a specific reason. And it's up to us as the more we grow up, figure out what that is.
Right.
You want to chime in on that first?
Sure. Like my motivating factor every morning to wake up. I mean, it's pretty early right now. We're recording. What time is it right now? It's like
10:30.
It's 10 already, but we've been awake quite early this morning.
Awake since like
had to
6.
get the kid ready for school.
You sure did.
Her daycare is not school, but he's learning slowly. So
he's learning slowly.
Actually,
that boy is learning quick.
He is really fast.
He's a year old. He can walk. He barely crawled. He crawled a little bit, and then now he's just walking like a
little
penguin.
baby from Tom and Jerry, the actual live baby on Tom and Jerry. I don't know if you ever saw him. He was like super fast when he was crawling. Like Tom and Jerry couldn't even catch up. Anyways, yeah, he hardly crawled. He's walking fast. Love you, Poppy. Hopefully you see this one day and you are proud of us, your uncle and I. Anyways,
and you see how young we are.
Yeah.
Because by then we'll be much older.
I already got the white beard going, so it'd be sad to see where I'm at.
That's part of the whole thing you got going on, though.
The vitiligus.
The vitiligo. That's what we're calling it.
Anyways, so my purpose, at least in the mornings, is, obviously wake up to my son and my woman and, just look at them in the eyes and wake up every day with that strength to be like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing for you guys, for Nabil, my loved ones,
For Nabil.
Yeah, Nabil on the Bump Podcast, yes. And, there's just so many other things that motivate me to wake up every morning. Just the breath of life in general, and believing in the Word and in God. That if you have the breath of life in you each day, that's more than a motivation to keep going. and to see that there's that life is beautiful, that there's many things that we just got to go out there and see life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people are so stuck in like their purpose, which is probably working their ass off or working nonstop in order to succeed or be someone in society, that sometimes they don't focus on the main purpose, which is their family, loved ones, their friends, nature, all these beautiful things that are out there that are more important, that also need time and dedication. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now in regards to purpose, family, loved ones, and just see what's the new obstacle for the day,
Yeah.
I feel like people like our podcast that's airing this week, Challenge Yourself. I think that a lot of people are afraid to challenge.
Oh, very much so.
For next day, a new day.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
That's why it's good to find your purpose and to see what you're meant to be in this life, and execute it on a daily basis, no matter how hard the challenge might be. So
yeah, 100%. And part of the life challenge that you're gonna have is absolutely figuring out what your purpose is, and you're not gonna figure it out overnight. You kind of need to, really self-analyze yourself, and day by day kind of, ask your loved ones, hey, what do you think I'm good at? What comes natural to me? What get some opinions, obviously, but truly analyze yourself, and don't be hard on yourself either with your shortcomings, because we're easy to just go into the negative. Oh, well, I'm not good looking enough, so I can't do this, or I'm not, in tip-top shape, so I can't do that. I think I got something here where it says the central goal of your life it can guide your decisions, behaviors, and goals, right? So like some of the purposes, like he mentioned, are pretty, are common sense. Raising a family, supporting a social issue of some sort, creating a legacy. And it's not so much creating a legacy for, so that like you can feel famous or anything like that. A legacy where it's something to be inspired, something to be admired, and something that people can like
relate,
mirror that and put it into practice in order to make the world a better place. Sure. Become a researcher. That's an interesting one. Like, do your research, do your homework, look into how you can be better, how you can contribute to this world a little bit more. You know what I mean? Whether it's, traveling across the world and helping third world countries that are struggling, and maybe you can help them out financially or with food, or, join a nonprofit organization of some sort and be of benefit to that. Creating unique art. And it's not just like paintings or drawings, but anything, whether it's music, whether it's playing a particular instrument, singing, dancing, some sort of
pantomime.
Yeah, sure.
Some sort of art.
Making positive connections and enjoy being around people.
Oh yeah.
Something like you mentioned, like outdoors and connecting with not just family and friends, but just strangers,
right? People
from different walks of life, whether they're from like a different state, a different country, whatever it might be. If you have an easiness to be able to just talk to people in general when you're out there in public, our dad has that ease. He knows how to talk to even animals that don't speak. Like, it's just, obviously it's an exaggeration, but the point is, like, he literally can talk to anyone. Yeah. We've seen it our whole life. Like, he can literally talk to anyone. Once he starts talking, ain't nobody shutting him up. Sometimes we would go out to like downtown Disney or City Walk or whatever here in Orlando. And once he started talking to somebody, forget it. Sometimes he could go on forever, and we're just kind of like, come on.
Like, hey, we're down 2 stores down the road.
Yeah, like, we're waiting for you. Let's go.
Yeah,
so that's something to think about too. And also empowering others, leaving the world a better place. Empower people, motivate people. You could become some sort of motivational speaker. Funny enough, it's kind of like what we're trying to do with our podcast, sort of. Yeah. But I mean, I'm not trying to, through this podcast, I don't want to come off as like I'm trying to become some sort of motivational speaker. I don't know if you are, but I feel like my purpose through Bump Podcast is to be able to spread the knowledge that we have. I think we've talked about this in earlier episodes. Sure. With our experiences, and just be able to make the world a better place through our platform, to be able to leave something behind for my nephew, his son, so that when he gets older, he can kind of look back at some of the experiences he and I have gone through and maybe relate to them in different stages of his life. And kind of learn from the positives and negative things that we've gone through, and hopefully learn from them in a way where he can apply it to his own life, and avoid the negatives, take some of the positives with him, and kind of go from there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to add to that specifically, but
no, yeah, honestly, I just encourage everybody to definitely, because I think finding your purpose will help you every day to become more motivated, to have a sense of urgency when you wake up every day, as to you have goals to accomplish every day, you have things to do, and you need to focus on those things. If you don't have a purpose, it's kind of like I've said in other podcasts, you don't have like a roadmap, you don't have a GPS towards where you're going, so you're just going to be kind of like a person at sea with no boat or anything, no life jacket. You're just kind of there floating and waiting for the current to take you wherever it wants to take you. And that's kind of like, it kind of sucks to live that way, because I mean, even me, like I when I used to live that way, and when I was like out on the street and doing my thing, it was kind of like, I knew that was maybe my purpose at the moment, but it was just kind of like let's see what happens today, and just whatever happens. And as opposed to like, no, these are my goals, this is what's going to happen today, and the only thing that might change it is just certain life circumstances that might happen, that might get in the way, or certain emergencies or whatever. And but other than that, these things are going to happen, and this is what's going to occur. In order for down the road, this is where I'm at in life, like make a 5-year goal, make a yearly goal, 5-year goal, 10 years. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? These are things.
That's a great point what you have there. The only thing is, I feel like from what I've seen from a lot of different people I've come in contact with, including myself, is you make a 5 or 10 year goal for certain things, and a lot of people tend to get overwhelmed with it.
Right.
Super overwhelmed.
And I understand that.
So I feel like it's important that, one, you shouldn't surpass 5. 10, you could just be like, well, now I'm a corporate manager of some sort. Okay, I mean, cool. But do something a little bit more realistically, like in the now. What can you do now so that in the next year you're like, all right, I was able to accomplish this. Right. And if you didn't accomplish it, that's okay. But, don't overwhelm yourself with that is all I'm trying to get at.
And that's why we incorporated the slogan as one step at a time on Bump.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to feel overwhelmed and whatnot. But once you understand the concept of not worrying so much about tomorrow, but focus on today, those 10 years will go by in a heartbeat, because a lot of people tend to I understand, because it's like you're seeing the whole workload as if it was all in one day, instead of
or like all in 1 year. And I think that's been like my issue, achieving what I feel like is part of my purpose within the acting and production world. It was such a huge monster. I'm just like, bro, like how am I going to ever be able to even get into it, And now I'm seeing the fruits of that.
Right.
But it's taken time, and I've had to learn as the years go by that it's you literally have to take it one day at a time and set your goals for that specific day.
Right.
Or that specific week. That way you have less stress on yourself,
right?
And you can actually accomplish more things. And as you accomplish a goal a day at a time or something, you're just gonna feel fulfilled. You're gonna be like, all right, I'm doing it. I may not see progress within this week, maybe not even within this month, but throughout the year, you should be able to see some sort of progress. Yeah. So then, if you have that 5-year plan, you'll be like, all right, well, in this 1 year, I was able to do this. Maybe the next year is a little slower, or it's even faster.
Yeah,
you just never know.
And sometimes I could say, like, it's not that I've gotten overwhelmed, but sometimes I believe, like, when I do the day-to-day process, it's kind of like I accomplish everything on the list, but sometimes I feel like something's still not there. You get what I'm saying? Like did I really do what I needed to do on this day? So it's kind of like,
Okay.
I feel like something's still missing, because it's kind of like, I said this at one of our first podcasts. It's kind of like when you accomplish things in life, sometimes it doesn't feel real when you already accomplished them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
I understand that.
And then, what I say to people to
It's like
that is
pinch
that,
myself.
yeah, literally. And then it's like, that's why I say write things down of the goals on a daily basis. Once you've done that, feel accomplished, feel like, okay, I did this. This is my life. This is what I have to do. Don't look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and be like, wow, he made $10 million today on his new venture, or he did 100 push-ups in a minute. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at yourself and measure yourself with other people's accomplishments. You need to be like, this is me, this is my current situation, and this is what I accomplished today. I feel good about it. Pat yourself in the back. And when you go to sleep at night, feel motivated because you accomplished what you needed to do today, and your purpose for today. Tomorrow's a new day, new trials, new tribulations, new goals, new challenges. All these things add up, so you store that energy for tomorrow and continue to go. And that's why I always say write things down, because it's like you can see what you need to do. And then if you feel like you still have leisure time to do other things, use that time wisely. I've been like, when I moved and whatnot, I felt like the first 2 weeks I was kind of like out of like orbit for a little bit. Like I was like, I wasn't reading, I had a lot of the podcasts already edited and stuff like that, but like there was like a lot of things that were off. Like school, I was kind of doing it on random days instead of like the normal days I do them. So like I was just kind of like, it was,
you were trying to get a little unorganized,
right? So then I was just like, I need to put myself in check and be like, whoa, I need to be conscious of these things. I need to get back on track on like my reading, on whatever I need to do with my family, other things I need to do with school, all the main priorities, just line them right back up.
Yeah, of course.
Now I'm back on track. So I also say that as an advice, kind of like always keep yourself in check of like what you're doing, and make sure your priorities are done first and then everything else.
That's it.
My friend hits me up all the time to hang out and whatnot. And it's just like, I have so many things to do. Sometimes it's hard to hang out with him or with other people. And it's because it's like, priorities need to get done first. And it's crazy because, you want to go out there and hang out with your friends or loved ones sometimes, but these priorities need to occur first in order for you to get to that point where it's like, okay, now I'm 30, 40 years old or whatever age you are, and you've completed those things that you need to get your career done. Now you could sit back and relax and enjoy the good things of life, as opposed to not doing these things and trying to find yourself through life. Yeah. And, you're 40, 50 years old and you still haven't accomplished what you want out of life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's where I kind of feel at now. I'm in my early 30s. Like, I feel like I still haven't accomplished a lot of my goals and dreams, because in my 20s, I was always either driven by fear, self-doubt and deprecation, felt like I didn't have enough support, which isn't necessarily true, but it's like people can only support you so long, right? And they're like, but this guy isn't doing anything to be able to make that goal or purpose come true. You know what I'm saying? There's a one of my favorite scriptures. It's used a lot within the Bible, but in Jeremiah 29:11, God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future."
I like
right?
that one.
We are meant to live lives where we fulfill our purpose. I mean, that's just as straightforward as it gets.
Right.
So how are you going to like just kind of wake up and be in your feelings and in your, and your emotions and things like that and say like, nah, I have no business being here. I have no reason being alive or anything like that. That is not true. See what comes natural to you. Yeah. There was a book, and I was trying to remember what the name of the book was. I'll figure it out at some point. But the writer said that there's like 5 purposes to fulfill, right? Worship is not just like singing hymns and all that stuff, but worship is kind of showing gratitude, for being alive another day, your loved ones, your purpose, your achievements, your goals, your job, your home, whatever it might be. Unselfish fellowship, spiritual maturity, ministry, and mission. Mission excuse me, meaning helping other people out. Again, that's part of your purpose. We're all meant to help one another out. So part of doing that is your purpose. We're supposed to give to one another, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Keep that in your heart. Like, see what good you can actually do
right
every single day. A little act of kindness obviously always goes a long way. So, try to be nice to your neighbor, to someone at the restaurant who attends you, whether it's through the drive-through or dining in.
Right.
What else can I say in terms of that? I don't know. I just want you guys to sit on it, because these are things I've had to tell myself. And I talk to myself a lot internally, because I want to just fulfill my purpose. I want to be able to be as good of a person as I possibly can. And in the career path that I'm trying to get to and be settled in it, you have to be nice to people. You have to be loving to people, be sincere and genuine, even when they might not be to you, which is kind of hard for my ego at times.
And I think that self-betterment is definitely a purpose for anybody's life.
Oh yeah.
You need to better yourself, no matter if anybody around you is not trying to do the same. Like I said in prior podcasts, I'm still reading the 21-day complaint free book, and
hard as heck to accomplish, huh?
Yes, and it's even harder because the people around, it doesn't matter if it's me or the people you're around.
Are you trying to say because of me?
No, not at all.
Huh?
But I mean, we all complain, so I mean,
I
would incorporate in a bill realistically, but like, just like it's
he doesn't like me.
Yeah, not at all. Just
you guys saw it first. You guys heard it first.
Yeah, so a lot of people around your surroundings are always going to complain, gossip, and all these things. Of course. At this point in life, it bothers me when people say like, "Oh, I don't gossip. I don't talk crap about anybody." That's a foolish lie, because it's like, bro, one way or another, you're always going to talk about someone.
Yeah, of course. Even if it's in a way where you have to vent and get it off your chest, it's still complaining. It's still criticizing.
At the end of the day. So like, not to do these things is very hard. So it's like, that's how I know self-betterment is so good for you, because it's hard to do. You get what I'm saying? Right, because all the good stuff is hard to get. It's like eating healthy, for example. Like, people are going to eat sweets before they eat broccoli or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying?
This guy.
And it's just like, that's why I'm trying to, like,
we're both trying to get better now.
And raise my son too, where he's, the other day
he eats anything.
But he's actually really low on the sweets. Like, he really won't
eat
the sweets before. Like, he'll eat fruit, but like sweets,
he loves orange
sweets or whatever, he'll be like, well, this is a little like out of place. But like, he'll literally, like the other day he was eating the broccoli first and the cauliflower, and then he went to the meat, and he kind of didn't eat much of the meat.
That's crazy.
And he likes drinking more water than juice and all that stuff. So it's like,
you guys are doing good.
Yeah, and that's what I want to keep doing. It's like, bro, like, most of our past generations would show us what they were shown. I don't want to be that unless it's something positive for my son. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's another purpose that I have to, like, when I ingrain something in them, it's like, bro, try something new, try something better for you. If that works for you, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that generational trend of like us Hispanics, for example, where it's like, oh, your great grandma taught your great grandpa, and then your great grandpa taught your father, and then your father taught you. Look at where it's gotten us. You know what I'm saying? It's been a downward spiral as opposed to like an
100%
upward trend. And it's sad, because it's like, now we are figuring out all these things, and it's like, okay, now we have to change. Now we gotta row the boat to a different direction.
Yeah.
And we're against the current. You get what
But the good thing is we're discovering it too while we're still young.
Yeah.
Because like even them sometimes, a lot of our family members are in the at least 50 plus, and they still haven't discovered most of it. Yeah.
And then when you show them the like organization, because I've shown different people, not even just family members, like older people, like, hey, this is how I go about my day. This is the things I know. This is the things I do. they'll be like, this is completely out of orbit. And they'll be like, bro, like you're a genius, you're intelligent. I'm like, bro, I'm just average. I'm not nowhere near genius or intelligent like that. You know what I'm saying?
You just done research.
Right. And just like everything that I do, it's like every time on the Instagram, whether if it's on Bump's Instagram or my personal Instagram, I literally promote reading to a whole nother level, because
that's true.
It's super important. Like, you need to learn every day something. Don't think that your brain is not capable, because everybody's brain is capable. Absolutely. You get what I'm saying? And
it's all about making the time and effort.
That's it. And again, that's part of your purpose too. You need to organize yourself to have a system every day where it's like, I need me and Joyce, me and my lady, we literally every night, for the most part, we try to keep it consistent, unless, you know, the kid's kind of like in a different
fussy.
Yeah, if he's fussy or something, then things kind of change a little bit on the time. But for the most part, we try to keep at least an hour a night, hour and a half a night, to literally just have our reading day, where she grabs a book, I grab a book, and we just sit down and read, and we'll like talk about our books or whatever, if there's anything cool.
That's good.
And it's just like, those are the things that are most important. Like, why are you going to sit down and binge on your phone on Instagram, or binge watch a Netflix show or whatever, when you could be learning things? These people that
is the problem though with a lot of us. You know, I include myself, but at the same time, I do make time every single day to read something. First and foremost, the Bible. That's what gets me through the day. But also, the blessing about this podcast is whatever topic we're going to touch upon, it forces me to research. But when I research and you're reading and you're just like, wow, this is really interesting. I'm really curious. Let me know more. Yeah. And I've talked about this in previous episodes before, but you know, it's opening my mind to new things that now I can actually have different conversations with people about, rather than just talking about, did you see the latest episode of Stranger Things? Or The
Star
Office,
Wars,
or whatever.
Wars,
I mean, listen, I could talk about that all day. I could talk about that all day. But it's so important to read, because, and also actually the greatest thing you can do, and you can back me up on this. Sure. You could correct me if I'm wrong. The greatest gift you can do is that last hour or whatever before going to bed, instead of binge watching whatever, like I did last night. You can read whatever it is you're reading, and you'll retain it when you wake up the next morning, 9 times out of 10. Yeah. I remember back when I was in school, I'd retain a lot of stuff because I was studying late into the night. And then when you'd wake up, I was ready for the tests and all that stuff. Yeah. And most of the time we were successful. It's interesting how your brain just absorbs whatever is that last thing that, you know, your eyes, you know, whatever it is that you were looking at and analyzing, and you sleep on it, and then you wake up and you're just like, and then you go back and read it again, and you're just like, fresh eyes, fresh mind. Yeah, that's the best thing too. I think that's the coolest thing ever. I'm discovering this right now. I was born today when I discovered ... If you read at night, but also if you read straight in the morning, right before you go to work and, you know, deal with all the craziness of the day. Yeah. Read. That's a purpose for all of us. Knowledge is power. That's the truth.
And just like it opens, again, like he was saying, it opens up to like new conversations with people, and
which is important to have. Super important.
If you're trying to network or whatever you're trying to do in life, you always need connections for things. You can't do life alone. Like, people don't.
It's just we're not made to do life alone. That's the thing.
And like, people sometimes want to do it alone, and you're just like, it makes no sense, because.
Well, I understand why people want to seclude themselves, because you get hurt, you get betrayed, and but you have to get over that, because not everyone is the same. Not everyone's going to hurt you and betray you. They might hurt you in certain instances, because none of us are perfect. Nobody. Anybody says they're perfect, they're freaking lying. They're going to hurt you. But hopefully they have the maturity to be able to ask you for forgiveness and things like that too. Because like you said, we can't do life by ourselves. Like, we need each other. Like you said, you know, I can elevate you here, but you also got to elevate me here. It's not so much about selfish, you know, reasons. Like, what can I get out of you? What will benefit me? No, it's not that. It's, we need to help each other out so that we can all be successful in whatever area in our life or in our career it might be.
Right. And I've found my purpose. This is kind of wrap it up. I found my purpose through life experiences and noticing that, like, the things that I thought were important, partying, drinking, because I was an alcoholic back in the day, smoking all the time, popping pills, all these things weren't important. They were just hindering me, doing damage to my life, to my mind, my brain, my family, everything around me was just self-destructing a day at a time. And that's how I found my purpose. I started to see like, whoa, I need to change my life around. I need to do new things, broaden my horizons and everything that I do. And it was like, even the book could tell you, like, for example, I was like, I didn't have a good relationship with my brother to the point where I was like, I mean, we have always had a great relationship. It's just more like he had his own world and I had mine. Yeah. And, when I was in prison one day, I saw this kid that was reading a Star Wars book, and I was like, bro, you know what? I need to start learning about Star Wars, where I could talk to my brother and we have a gas conversation about Star Wars, because that's the world that he likes. That's the kind of things he likes. So it's just like, bro, like, the only thing I could tell you was Anakin was Darth Vader and Yoda was 800 years old, I think. You know what I'm saying?
More or less.
That's all I could tell you about Star Wars. I couldn't tell, and that he speaks backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he has a funny way of talking.
Road it is. You know what I'm saying? Instead of roadcaster. I don't know, but anyways, he'd probably say cast the bump or bump podcast. I don't know.
Cast the bump.
Yeah, bump back. Anyways,
you can say certain things normal.
Yeah, sometimes. So, but anyways, so then I called him one day. I was like, bro, send me books, man. Send me some books in here, Star Wars, bro. It got to the point that
he broke my bank, but he got those books. He got those books.
And I learned a lot about Star Wars and some amazing things that they should be making movies of. And Disney, this is for you guys. You guys need to start making movies of the Rule of Two, all the good Sith stuff from back in the day before Episode 1 and all that stuff.
I mean, we got the Acolyte coming out. We'll see what happens.
To all the fanboys and fangirls out there, this is for you guys too. We need
a Darth Bane series.
Yes.
We need Darth Plagueis and Palpatine series.
That would be phenomenal. That would be that book right there.
How the Jedi began. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We need like a super dope
Darth Maul in prison. That'd be cool, because it's like, bro, he probably had some.
I mean, I feel within the story of Darth Plagueis and Palpatine, Darth Sidious, you would eventually see Maul and how Palpatine's kind of training him behind the scenes and all that stuff. That needs to happen, Disney.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
So that's you guys' purpose now at Disney, to make some
Give
good
us
movies.
more Star Wars content.
Yeah.
The content we want.
Yeah. Do you have anything what different ways to find purpose in life?
I mean, for me, it's been prayer, but I mean, like, for me, my purpose currently, I feel like it's a couple for sure. My purpose is through here to be able to teach everybody what we're learning as we go through life. We're young still, so hopefully we still have a long life to live, where we can grow super old on here and being like, wow, look at all this that we've learned and that we're still teaching to all these youngsters and all that, young whippersnappers and what have you. My family, I need to take care of my family for sure. My marriage, my relationship with you,
howdy,
with your lady. I mean, I'm tight with her. I love her. She's a great sister.
Shout out to the squad.
Yeah. Of course, to the nephew, I want to be I want to be an uncle that he can come to for anything, that he can trust me with anything, and if he has a question, I'll be able to help him in any way that I can.
Right.
To anyone that I come in contact with, just to be a shining light on God's behalf, and to help people when they feel like they're not heard or they're not loved. Or when they're going through lack of purpose, your lack of motivation and all that stuff, you're just like, what do I do? Of course, I love acting and being in that world, so I want to be able to hone in on my craft, which I still have a long way to go, but I want to be able to hone in on my craft to a point where whatever stories I'm a part of, I can tell stories that'll impact people, motivate people to chase after their dreams and goals and purpose. Mm-hmm. All of that. I just really want to leave something beautiful and positive behind when I'm no longer here. I feel like that's what my purpose is.
Nice.
So chasing that for sure. I want to leave some, if you don't have anything else to add. I don't know if you have anything else to add. Okay. Again, some like last couple of tips to finding your purpose, essentially. Identify the things you care about. Everything we just mentioned, I feel like, is things we care about. Family, friends, our career, the message and stuff that we leave behind for others to be able to take up and put that into practice. Right. Reflect on what matters most. Again, it's pretty much what we just touched upon. Excuse me. Recognizing your strengths and talents. We've sort of also touched base upon all that. For me specifically, strengths and talents, I mean, anything within the production world is what I'm kind of always interested in, and my talents are kind of based on that stuff, you know. For example, he's the one who edits our episodes and things like that. We'll all set the set up and things like that. You know, thankfully we work together with that stuff. And that's part of our strength and part of our talent too, hopefully. Try volunteering. Volunteering literally could mean a whole bunch of things, like I mentioned, with nonprofit organizations, at your local church, serving the community, you know, giving food out, giving clothes out that are donated and what have you. You know, donating toys, because there's a whole bunch of kids that their parents can't afford anything. So if you could donate toys and clothes and things like that, that's super important. Being available for people to be heard and to be loved, and so on and so forth. Imagine your best possible self. Imagine your best possible self. Ever since I was little, I've always imagined myself being an actor and being in these grandiose movies and TV shows that we just grew up watching and loving. You know, I always lived it, and I feel like it's gonna come true. In some way, shape, or form, is going to come true, and I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, wow, you know, it's worth it. You have to envision yourself in whatever it is you want to accomplish. Otherwise, what's the point? So think about that. Cultivate positive emotions like gratitude and awe. You know, awe, like, dang, man, this is beautiful. Like, I get to witness a new day of life, sun shining, birds chirping, squirrels running around, beautiful grass. Or if it's a rainy day, well, I can witness a beautiful rain, because it's pretty calm and soothing most of the time, unless you have to be in it. That's when it sucks. Anyway, look to the people you admire. Who do you admire? Who do you admire where you could say, you know what? I could take this positive thing from them. I could take this positive thing from this person and apply it to your being. And you know what I mean? Just be a better version of yourself. Seek out new experiences. We just went to that air show during the weekend. Never done anything like that before. We went with one of our childhood buddies and had a really good time. Yeah. Again, we got a little sunburned. But other than that, had a really good time. Got to see some planes we've never seen in action before, old and modern. Yeah. And, you know, that's what life is about. New experiences. You create new memories. You create, you know, you appreciate life more. Right. Rather than sticking in the same routine, whether it's just staying in your own home, staying in your room locked up, watching TV all day, sleeping all day, smoking all day, eating all day. You know, nah. That's not what we're meant to do. That's just no. And I've done it. So I can talk about it because I've done it. Yeah. And it's not good. It's not healthy. That's not what we're supposed to do. Reflect on your experiences. Reflect on them. Be grateful for them. You know, that a lot of us here in the United States, we have that luxury, whereas people outside of it don't, because a lot of things, it could be poverty, it could be war, it could be whatever it might be. Yeah. They don't have it as easy. They don't have it as, you know, we're blessed. We're blessed beyond belief. Honestly. And then discuss your life goals with friends. Depends what it is. Only because some people will want to bring you down. Some people will be like, no, that's impossible. You can't do it. Yeah. You with that ugly face, you think you can be in front of a camera?
You're like, out of your mind.
Yeah, like, you know. Yeah. So it depends what kind of goals and what kind of friends you have that you can talk to, friends and family members that you can talk to. You can kind of more or less paint a picture about it a little bit and gloss over it, but in reality, I feel like one of the best ways is to pray on it. Also write it down, like he's mentioned a whole bunch of times. Write it down, look at it every day, and just work towards it. You're reminding yourself constantly that that is what you're working towards, your purpose, every single day, step by step. Right. So those are kind of like hopefully a little guide of helpful tips for you to be able to find your purpose.
Oh yeah. And I have a quote to close it out.
Quote us.
It says, the rarest of all human qualities is consistency. Be consistent on all these things you do. Consistency is also, you have to have patience with it. You can't, like we were saying earlier, you can't think about all the things that are going to happen in 5-10 years. You could plan for it, but you have to keep everything consistent and not get discouraged because of the amount of workload or the things that you have to do in order to get your goals. Again, the people, not everybody, but a lot of people that are successful in life, whether it's monetarily or they have a lot of possessions or whatever, they've had to work hard for it. And it's not sitting in bed all day or laying on the couch and doing nothing, or you go to the gym, you do 2 sets and walk a quarter mile and that's it. You have to put in the work. So, and you have to be consistent. And then it doesn't matter whether if it's a physical or mental thing, you have to be consistent every day in order for your purpose to work out. You get what I'm saying? So absolutely. That's just where I leave it. Anything else?
No, that'll wrap it up. Honestly, I think we covered it, and hopefully, you guys can absolutely get something out of this. Again, like we've mentioned before, please comment down below and let us know. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know what it is that's got you stuck, or what you got out of this episode today that can motivate you and elevate you to get to that first step. And then go from there. Constantly keep up with us and talk to us so that we can help each other out.
Oh yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The Ringle Dingle Dingle.
Yes.
All our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Please follow us on all those platforms. Spread it with your friends, family. And yes, do it all on there. Let us know what we could do better, what we could focus on, what other projects we can maybe do down the road, and other ideas, because we got our own ideas, but you guys bring your ideas to the table too. We could put them in consideration and actually make more podcasts or, interviews or something like that. That'll work to continue to build this community together, to, continue to elevate this to a whole nother level. So anyways, we thank you guys for tuning in this week.
We
love you
so
as
much.
always. Thank you for the support. Hopefully you guys found this very helpful to find your purpose if you don't have one, and just stay encouraged and motivated, and just know everything will be okay. And stay focused, guys. So anyways, take care, and it'll be until next time. Have a great week.
See you guys.